This is the third Kaulu program. I know this program is in English, and we had two previous programs in a single language. Today I'm going to introduce a well-traveled couple, lovely English couple. I'm in their place now. This is Michael and this is Sally. So Michael and Sally recently visited Sri Lanka. They got a lot to say to us and their experience, and they want to tell us. So I'm here and to talk about Sri Lanka and their experience. So what made you to? So I bought actually. I bought. I bought. So they picked a few words, Sri Lankan words. So what made you to, Michael, to make the decision whether to go to Sri Lanka or any other country, and why you chose Sri Lanka?
That's a good question. Our eldest son had travelled all around Southeast Asia and then Australasia, New Zealand, Australia, and he came back full of enthusiasm about what he'd seen in Sri Lanka, and I think we'd wanted to, maybe try the Indian subcontinent, but we're a bit worried about going the whole hog for India. And our son said he felt that Sri Lanka was a good introduction to the whole area. So that was what made us choose Sri Lanka. We liked the idea that it was quite small.
He said it was really welcoming, didn't he?
Yeah, and he said the country's beautiful and so are the people. Was his recommendation. So
great. So I know. So people worried about the distance. Some of my friends want to go to Sri Lanka, but they worried about the distance, long distance flights, and also was the flight. What was the flight experience?
So the flight was okay. We flew out through the Middle East. I think we went out through
from Manchester.
Yeah, and did we go to Oman?
Oman, yeah.
On the way out, which so that was fine. It breaks the flight up when you're flying. You've got to eat the food and have a couple of drinks and try and rest, because when you get there, it's you're going to be busy. It's full on. So
right. Okay. So if I ask you, what's your first impression when you come to a country? First time you go through the immigration and all, and then you see first time people and so what's your first impression?
Well, I think it was really nice, wasn't it? As we came through, we'd arranged for somebody to pick us up, and we couldn't see him, and it was we were a bit nervous, and then this chap had our names, and he came. He had 2 garlands of flowers.
Garland.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yes. Welcome. And it was lovely.
So you have been to many places. When you travel to other countries, do you get garlands?
No.
And this?
No, that was the first.
That's the first and only time that's ever happened.
First time. So
only time.
Really, only time. Very welcome. Right. So, and then could you tell us a little bit about the route or the plan, where you're planning to go, and then we can talk about different places.
Yeah. So we had quite a long drive from Colombo up to. Now I'm not going to be able to pronounce this.
Tell me, what is it? Anuradhapura.
Anuradhapura.
Right.
Yeah. So that was our first stop, and we stayed in. Again, we were keen not to stop in big hotels. We wanted to stop in local accommodation, really experience the culture, the people. So we had a lovely guest house in near Anuradhapura.
Anuradhapura.
I'm not saying it again.
That's fine.
It's too hard to pronounce. But a lovely guest house. It was surrounded by greenery, wildlife, lovely architecture. Very friendly staff, and we started our trip in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, Anuradhapura is a very olden city.
Yeah.
One of the very olden cities where the kings were there, and lots of history, thousands, I think 2,000 history, over 2,000 years history there. Okay, and so from Anuradhapura, and then where did you go after that?
I think
We had a day there, didn't we?
Yeah.
Travelling round.
yeah, we had a day there. We saw the old temple, the Buddha tree.
Buddha tree. Okay, Bodhi.
And there was a new stupa
Yeah.
going up, which the army
Right.
were building.
Yeah.
Hundreds of men building a stupa out
stupa.
of brick. It was fascinating. And from there, I think we went down to either Dambulla or Sigiriya.
Yeah, went to
Sigiri or
Sigiriya.
Dambulla.
Yeah.
Sigiri is the big rock,
The rock.
Yeah, we went to
giant rock.
And then, but I'm not sure whether it was there or whether it was there where the temple, the caves, with the temple in the caves, the ancient caves.
Oh,
So,
right, okay.
And Polonara, did we?
Polonnaruwa?
Yeah.
Polonnaruwa,
Yeah.
right, okay.
Yeah.
So you went to Polonnaruwa.
So lots of temples, ancient sites for the first two or three days.
Right, before you planned to go to Sri Lanka, did you expect any of these thing, or is it something unexpectedly?
No, I think we had a sense that there were going to be lots of temples, and I think that was one of the things that really interested us, because in this country we know lots about Islam, we know lots about Sikhism, we know lots about Hinduism, but Buddhism it's not widely practiced in the UK, so we don't know very much. We don't know very much about it. So we were expecting to see these places. I was very struck with how old most of the sites.
Yeah, there are
actually.
thousands years.
Yeah.
they were really clean as well.
Yeah.
Take your shoes off, but they
Yeah.
More respect.
really,
Oh,
but really clean. And
Yeah, the care that had gone into the places was it was really
Great. Now, when I talk about you and this couple, it seems they are not looking for luxury. They always want to see something and touch it and experience it, and so that kind of a tourist.
yeah.
definitely.
So from Polonnaruwa, did you go to Kandy, or what happened?
We
there?
went to Kandy, but I think before we went to Kandy, we went to the we went on a safari, didn't we?
We went to Sigiriya and Safari on the
Oh, safari,
Yeah.
Minneria safari, Minneria?
It was near Sigiriya.
Sigiri, right, okay. So lots of animals, or
Elephants,
lots of elephants.
hundreds of elephants,
all right.
Yeah.
peacock, monkeys, crocodile,
So
lots of birds.
I know you travel to other places. Have you seen that many elephants somewhere else, or?
No, that's the only place we've seen elephants. But we're going to Africa next year, so we're hoping to see lots of
Next
elephants
year they're
in
going to Africa to see lots of animals and a different type of holiday, and a more adventurous holiday. And
Sri Lanka was very adventurous, I think.
okay, great,
Yeah, that was
great.
good.
And then tea country.
We went to Kandy first.
We
and
went
then
to Kandy before the tea country, yeah. So we went to the Temple of the Tooth in Kandy, and one of the caskets was open.
Okay.
Kandy was lovely, beautiful city. Really
There's a
lovely.
British cemetery there, war heroes there, and the British cemetery there in Kandy.
Yeah.
And have you had a chance to see it?
We didn't.
see
No.
that. We went to the gardens.
The
didn't we?
botanical gardens.
Oh,
The
again,
botanical gardens.
They were spectacular.
you liked it.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were really lovely.
Yeah.
So,
And we went to see some Sri Lankan dancing.
Oh, we did.
And a
Yeah.
oh,
fire
right,
show.
And
okay.
the fire show, yes.
Fire show as well,
Yeah.
and
A walk
Candy
on
and
fire.
dance.
Yeah.
Kandy,
You
yeah.
experienced Candy and dance,
Yeah.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
great. And then I suppose you went to Norelia,
Yes.
the tea
Yeah.
by the
Yes.
hill country,
Yeah.
and the weather
You could feel it getting cooler.
Colder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The higher up.
Yeah. Our driver was wrapped up like he was going to the South Pole, and in reality it was about 16 degrees. But he had his hoodie on, a hat on, moaning about the cold, and we just went out in a t-shirt. So it was very warm at the lower levels and a bit cooler up in Norelia.
So tell our audience today about the weather you have in England, so that they can compare the 16 Celsius and what we have today, this evening,
Yeah, well, it's quite warm at the moment at 8 or 9
8
degrees.
or 9 today. So we're
Which
talking
is
about
warm.
16, and the driver was thinking it was very, very cold, 16 Celsius. So this is just to show how cold in England. So you had a tea.
Yes.
Yeah.
So did you bring some tea
We did.
from?
And
We
are
brought lots of
drinking
tea.
And we are drinking.
Right.
lots of
Okay.
tea.
So I'll
So
have this, and so this is from Sri Lanka
This
then.
is orange pekoe from Sri Lanka.
Orange peacock.
We've
and
drunk,
We've drunk it.
ever since we came back.
Yeah, we're buying it.
So Sri Lankan tea.
Yep.
Where did you buy them?
Well, we brought a lot back with us,
Right.
and then we bought it from a specialist tea merchant. There's a tea merchant in Leeds who sells Sri Lankan orange
All right.
pekoe.
So you always buy Sri Lankan tea.
Always.
Okay.
We like to do our bit for the Sri Lankan economy.
And we always drink it
That's
black
great.
like the Sri Lankans.
Yeah.
Always black tea.
Yeah, always.
But you know, Sri Lankans drink lots of tea with sugar. So from Norelia, and then what happened then?
We drove down.
We took the train.
Oh yeah.
We took the train from Norelia, or just outside Norelia, down to Ella.
Ella.
Yeah. And we tried in Kandy. We tried to book tickets in the panoramic carriage on the train.
On the train. Okay.
but
Did you have a chance to get in?
no, it sold out,
Sold out.
So
oh,
we went-
that busy.
So we just went on the ordinary train.
which was like going on the London Tube, like sardines for 4 hours.
Oh,
So,
dear.
It was
The scenery coming down was.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It was
Was
amazing,
really.
absolutely amazing. And I think the interesting thing was in the tea country, all the machinery in the tea factory was British from the 1930s and 1940s. It was all wood fired, still working. The engines were all British engines from prior to independence, presumably. So it was just fascinating to see how these things that the
Change
Sri
and
Lankans
over time.
had kept them going, kept them working.
Yeah, and some of the in Norelia, some of this building architecture, if you see, some of them are similar to the British
was very
architecture.
British,
They're
wasn't
very
it?
British.
Well, we thought it was funny because again we stopped in a guest house, and I don't know if you've ever seen the British comedy Fawlty Towers with John Cleese about the hotel in Devon, but the hotel owner is set in the 1970s in the south of England, and the hotel owner is very eccentric. And this place we stopped in Norelia was just like Fawlty Towers. It just looked like an English seaside hotel, and the guy who was the proprietor was a Tamil, very tall and slim, and he looked like a Tamil version of Basil Fawlty. So and the bedroom we stopped in was like my grandma's bedroom. It was
Very, very.
It was so funny. It seemed so it just seemed really funny.
What do you think about your whole trip, whole experience of a new country, small island, and different cultures?
It was beautiful.
Do you remember the pub we went into in Norelia?
The oldest pub in.
Oh, just about the only pub.
Well, the only pub, yeah, yeah.
All those wooden tables over 3 floors. It was like a Wild West saloon, wasn't it?
Yeah. We had
And you could have whatever you wanted to drink as long as it was Lion beer.
That's right.
And we had a tower of beer, and our driver was ecstatic because nobody else in the place had ordered one that night. And he was a bit drunk, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Walking back.
it was. But we had lime beer everywhere we went, didn't we?
We had
But
Lion beer every day, yeah, big bottles of it. But that was good experience in there. Really enjoyed that. I think that might have been a Friday night as well, so it was very busy with local people who'd been at work. Don't be frightened to go visit Sri Lanka. You'll receive a very warm welcome. It's a beautiful country, very diverse, and you can combine lots of different things: coast, safari, mountainous regions, an interest in historical sites, and lovely climate, and most importantly, lovely people. So
it's just so much to see.
yeah, in such a small
They're
place.
big,
Tons to see.
So, what experience they had, and the people, and there are lots of things that they explained to us how they felt and how they enjoyed the experience in this beautiful island, a paradise island, some people call it. Do you agree?
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, definitely.
So this is what the tourists say. So we invite everyone to join with them. And if you want to, are you planning to go back again if you had a chance?
At some point, but we have other places to go to as well. So
I know you're going to South Africa and other places.
but there are places we didn't visit, Jaffna, etc. up in the north that we would like to see.
Right. Okay. So next time,
Next
you
time.
can see the rest of the place, and it's because it's a small island, so obviously you can travel again and revisit some of the places and enjoy lion beer again. Thankful for talking to us today and giving your experience and telling us about your fantastic experience in different places and telling us about Sri Lankans and their culture, that the way you felt it, and quite good and fascinating experience for us as well to hear what other people think about the country. And so we invite everyone to join and visit the country and in a way help the country to develop. So I know that my previous two programs were about the travel, and so the next one will not be a travel, so I can promise you. So it will be something else. So I will see you again next time with something different. So I would say, Aiboan.
Aiboan.
Aiboan.